All right, guys, brushing is the number one thing with at-home services for your dog or maintenance. So I've done a little bit of brushing on Spike here already. I really do prefer you guys don't trim. So that's why brushing is really important. Worst case, they have a mat, we'll cut it out, it grows back, life goes on, it'll be okay. So we do have a video from before as to how to brush them, because as you can see, what I've done with Spike is just more of a general brush. But you can see underneath, see all that curly stuff still? That's all the stuff that's gonna start matting because how tight it's getting in that. So that's why it's really important you're gonna split the hairs. So I like to start at the bum and work my way up. So we'll start back here, and just to show you, see how we're split all the way down? And we're gonna brush. So making sure it goes right down to the skin. Okay, this is a mannequin, so work with me. But see how all that's straight now. Now you're gonna slide this hand up. Your hair's not gonna be as long as Spike's here, but so this is gonna start to fall out, or you can just pick at it like how I'm doing here. So it's still split at the top here, and you'll keep brushing down. Okay, so woo! So to do the rest of the body, you're gonna work from the bum and slide your hand up, back of the neck, to the head, down the side, and you're always gonna go brushing with the growth of the hair, so not against the grain. You're always gonna be going like this, okay? So once you think you've done the whole dog, I'm just gonna show a couple of spots that tend to mat, and so you really gotta focus on these areas so we don't have to shave them down. So legs are a biggie. One trick that you can do is you can kind of brush in the opposite direction. Be careful if it's bugging your dog or they have very fair hair and delicate skin, maybe don't do it, but that is just one trick that you can do. So see how it's still kind of splitting down to the skin? And then same with the paw, just to get, now he doesn't have paws. But if you brush up like this, you're gonna get that fur in between their toes. And again, more dematting and more comfort for your dog, because matting is something that can become an issue. If they get too tight, it pulls on their skin, which is uncomfortable. If they get wet in that, it just doesn't dry as well. So bacteria can start to grow in here. So again, brushing's really important. Legs are done. So then I go to the bum. Now a big spot, it's always those nooks and crannies in the dog. So with loose parts and even in the legs, we're gonna get to the armpits and that, but we're gonna start with the tail here. So we're gonna move the tail around in order to get into these corners of the tail here. Because a lot of the time we just go like this, but again, all of this at the base of the tail, see how curly and stuff that is? Okay, so here's the base of the tail, and brush. And you know, you can even pick away, kind of start what we were doing before. See all this curly hair that we missed from just general brushing? And work your way up, okay? So make sure you get all the way through. Remember from my last video, combs are really important. And you're kind of, okay, again, he's a mannequin. But you're gonna do that flicking motion, refer to the other video with a real dog. So once you've done the back here, you're gonna start working on the tail. So don't brush up against the actual skin. You can part, again, the hair, and you can find the skin of the tail and hold that and brush everything around it. Because if we're just brushing their tail, they're really not gonna like it. So just try and work that as much as you can. Again, calm, make sure everything's out. Okay, so armpits and stuff like that. This guy can't necessarily move his legs, so I'll kind of use myself a bit more. So you're gonna have to lift their leg up, and you're gonna get that brush in there and try and go in different directions, because it does kind of part different ways there. Be really gentle, because there's a very delicate piece of skin here and here. So just make sure, especially you brave ones that are going in with clippers, that's not something you want to nick. So once you go in, you get underneath the leg, And make sure, again, all those nooks and crannies, get their leg kind of moving out and down and back. And that way it's just going to help dematting. Same with the front, leg forward, side, back, diagonal, to get right in here. Now the belly is really sensitive. So what I do is I go in. Now if they let you stand up, is obviously the best. He doesn't really have a belly, but they can stretch and you can see the skin better and gently brush. So another biggie are the ears. So we'll grab the ear, whoop, and we brush. Okay, and the head. And maybe we go underneath. Okay, but look at all that stuff in that little crevice underneath there. That is what gets really matted. We are usually able to hide it when we shave them out, but it's just something that's going to start to pull. There's a piece of fabric there that's kind of like the leather of the ear. You just don't want it to start pulling on that. Can you see that there? Yeah. So you just want to make sure that you're going in again and get into that whole area, and a super important spot for your comb because it is so hard to see in here depending on how long their coat is in that. Now with the ear itself, you're going to kind of part the hair again. Okay, so the leather, the skin of the ear, again with the tail, you want to find the edge of the skin and brush the ends. And that way you're not scratching their ear. You can actually flip their ear and get underneath. Again, common matted area. And that goes for the neck and everything too. Just make sure you're feeling, some have rolls and you have to get in there and that. The chest is another hard area. It kind of gathers from the front armpit and can go up. This is an area that is bending and getting rubbed and getting dirty and all of that. So same thing, just make sure you're getting right to the armpit and doing that hold up and brush down. All right. So Sparky's pretty much all ready to start getting other work done. And our next video is going to be more about the details of basic cleaning and that. Okay, we'll see you in a bit.